you joining us for the first time, welcome. Excited for you to be joining in on Margreeman. I would like to introduce to you our amazing speaker today, Chris Zullo, who's going to be providing some great insights on why Salesforce admins should get to know Marketing Cloud. Go ahead and take it away, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Always a pleasure to be introduced by a fellow Chris, who is also a fellow Italian. So thank you very much. Appreciate the warm welcome. Thank you all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is my session on why Salesforce admins should get to know the Marketing Cloud. And if we can get this to cooperate, there we are. All right. So my name is Chris Zullo. I'm a marketing practice director at All Cloud, a Salesforce consulting firm. Little bit about me. I have an amazing wife, a couple of kids, some dogs, recently acquired hamsters, a few certifications, and I try to be active in the community. If you haven't plugged in somewhere, find your group and plug in. Otherwise, good job if you already are. All right. As always, thank you to our wonderful sponsors who make this all possible. And thank you all for coming to check this out. So our agenda, which I will go through relatively quickly, have a lot to cover, and there's a lot of resources I'll be sharing throughout this session. And so without further ado, we'll cover in brief, what is the Marketing Cloud? So if you're new to Marketing Cloud, great. We'll give you a little bit of background. If you've known Marketing Cloud, maybe give you some tidbits that maybe you didn't know. We'll talk quickly about the products. We'll then focus our majority of our time on the customer data platform, also known as CDP, personalization. Shout out to all my British folks out there rocking the UK, actually proper English spelling here. And then we'll talk about data, and then we'll just summarize it, and then we'll share some resources. So just move along here. And so why should I care about the Marketing Cloud if I'm in a Salesforce admin? If all I do is CRM, whatever that version may be, what's in it for me? Well, let me tell you, it impacts your org. If you have Marketing Cloud in your stack and it is connected to your Salesforce CRM, it's touching your org. Data is coming, data is going. It also helps support the creation and maintenance of a 360-degree view of your audience in whatever context it may be. But they're also, Marketing Cloud relies on the data in the CRM to communicate and engage with those individuals. And it's not just for marketing. Data is data. Data should be for everybody in the safest and most compliant way possible. It should be working in concert with one another, not as a siloed channel. And so we'll go into a little bit of an overview on the Marketing Cloud. And so it's not just email. Love Hooli4. So if you don't follow that on Twitter, they are hilarious. And their definition of the Marketing Cloud is pop-ups, emails, and privacy violations, which sadly does happen from time to time, but that's not all it does. On the left-hand side, you'll see we've got CDP, personalization, also known as Interaction Studio. We have advertising, which is AKA Advertising Studio, account engagement, which is the current name for Pardot. And we have intelligence, which was Datorama, and loyalty management. So a little bit more on that. Here's a high level of all the products in the Marketing Cloud. Some names have changed. Most have changed, actually, other than the OG of the marketing world, Campaign, which isn't a whole lot of functionality, just more of a job folder or the way to organize your marketing or engagement activities within the core platform. We have all of these features that have evolved over time. Names have changed. Most importantly, Marketing Cloud, the main sort of like the traditional exact target products are now under the engagement banner. And then Pardot is now account engagement powered by Pardot, which is its full legal name. Check its birth certificate. That's what it currently is. And then, again, all of these links that you see here do go out to the product pages. If you want to learn a little bit more about each in more depth, then you can check that out later. And so with that, here's one of the big reasons why Marketing Cloud is important to a Salesforce admin. It connects via a install package, which if you are kind of following best practices, you would have 2 dedicated API users, one that lives in the CRM, one that lives in Marketing Cloud. They should be dedicated. In the off chance something were to go maybe off track, it's a lot easier to triage and identify the root cause. If you are sharing API users with other applications or other external sources, it's just going to make your job that much more difficult. So you should only use a single API user dedicated for this connection. Now, this does live inside within CRM itself, and it allows you to connect the usual suspects: Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, Experience Cloud. All of that allows you to flow data into the Marketing Cloud, and it is a bidirectional flow, with the caveat that it's a much more seamless flow of data out to the Marketing Cloud using synchronized data sources, which allows you to take read-only, essentially it's like a snapshot, if you will, but it's constantly refreshed and updated with delta loads or delta synchronizations, where you can take select objects and fields that you want to make available in the Marketing Cloud. Now, you can also, through a number of avenues, get data back into the CRM, but it's really optimized for that initial pull out of the CRM into the Marketing Cloud. And depending on how you want to get that data back in, it may naturally flow in through whatever call to action may be at the end of the communication for your audience. They may complete that circle. Otherwise, you may want to send certain information back, which you can do using Journey Builder and other means to get data back and forth between the two systems. So it's really important. If you have Marketing Cloud there, you should be familiar with how this works and be able to own this connection. So, wrong direction. All right, maybe I had a duplicate slide there. Sorry, we're just going to move along here. So, CDP, personalization, and data. Oh my, there's a lot here to cover and not enough time. So it's going to be relatively brief here, but customer data platform, why does it matter? Well, again, this lives on the core platform. So the admin setup for CDP lives inside the core platform. So that's number one. Whether you support marketing or not, this lives within the core platform. It allows us to improve and create a better profile for our contacts, customers, constituents, whatever the context is of the people that we're communicating with. It allows you or us to connect, tie data from Sales and Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, AWS data sources, and other sources. As you can see here, there's we can connect with website mobile apps. There's an API which allows us to set up custom API data connections. Also personalization or Interaction Studio, as it's listed here in this particular screenshot, allows us to bring that all together. And then we can do some really fancy things. Like in this case here, these are more retail oriented. So lifetime value, recency, frequency, monetary modeling, loyalty. However we want to create and segment our data, CDP allows us to more seamlessly and easily slice and dice that data so that we can more effectively target and personalize whatever engagement activities we are supporting at that time. So this is very data driven, and this lives in the core platform. We also have personalization, which is the real-time, basically interaction or data decisioning engine for the platform, for the Marketing Cloud. And so this does live inside or on the Marketing Cloud side of the equation. However, it does connect with Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, Experience Cloud. So what we can do with this is we can push and pull data between all of these connections. Interaction Studio also connects with CDP, and so combining those together, provides you with a really powerful data capabilities, to more effectively, again, utilize the data to improve the customer experience, as well as make it a more efficient process. And so Interaction Studio is also data-centric, data-heavy. We can inform next best actions in Service Cloud. We can, based on what we know of this individual, if they have an open support case, well, if they're on our website browsing, we probably don't want to promote a product or service that's tied to or related to their existing service case. I mean, it's just, it's poor form. So it allows us to, in real time, identify and basically, pivot to a better approach to provide a more positive experience for the individual who is visiting or interacting with our brand, with our website, or within an app. All right. So CDP and personalization, it's not just for marketing. Here's a list of all of the currently known integrations, or the currently supported integrations, and this is constantly evolving and expanding. And so CDP on the left, personalization or Interaction Studio on the right, they do talk to each other, and there's a lot of overlap between the types of products that they talk to, but you can see they also have some differing integrations as well. And so these are, all of these things, a lot of these either live in or touch with your core platform as well. So at the end of the day, this is all data driven. So you don't have to be selling something or otherwise doing traditional marketing to benefit from these types of tools, because the whole point of them is to make it a more seamless connection of data, build a more consistent profile that we can trust and lean on to do whatever type of engagement we need to leverage to better manage that relationship. At the end of the day, data is about relationships and respect. So these two products allow you to enhance your approach towards that. And then we have our newest member of the Forest family. We have Salesforce Genie, which is essentially the democratization of CDP. There are GA components for each of the clouds that are available today, and more are on the way. But the whole point of Genie is to unlock and remove the stigma of CDP being just for marketers, if that makes any sense. And so it is essentially CDP. It is basically powered by CDP. And, there's not a ton of Genie trails at the moment right now, but if you follow along the CDP trails, that'll fill in all the blanks. There's one get to know Salesforce Genie that you can follow that be a little more specific to sort of the intent of what Genie's bringing to the Salesforce ecosystem. But if you look at CDP, that will be a great entry point. All right, let me go. Got a couple more examples here, and then we'll get to some questions. All right, so here's some examples of how various Marketing Cloud features connect with the rest of the Salesforce platform. So anything that's in orange would that is Marketing Cloud, and then you have the other components. So you can see that in this case, we have a loyalty management solution, and you can see a lot of different use cases for connecting your Salesforce CRM with Marketing Cloud. You can also see some other connections kind of swinging around and bypassing the core platform. So if you look at the broader picture from a loyalty management, there's a lot going on here. All of these diagrams I'm showing right now, and there's a few more to go, are all available online. You can dig into a little deeper and understand the context and find one that maybe is more relevant to you. But so that link's at the bottom, and also it is referenced in the resources at the end of the session. So we also have personalization flow. So in this situation, it's more of that real-time decision engine. So we have Interaction Studio between experience and the core platform, but you can also see we have CDP going on in here, and a lot of things are combining to create that unified profile and then dispersing that back out to the other connections within this architecture. retail storefront example here. So we have Marketing Cloud, we have Commerce Cloud, we have MuleSoft doing a lot of movement of data between various systems and connecting. And so we have preferences, and we have distributed marketing, which allows basically provides marketing blessed or gold copy content for users on a limited basis, so that they don't have to overthink it or do too much. They don't have to know how to code or create an email. They just need to know what they want to say and just fill in the blank. Everything else has been done for them. We also have social customer service, which is more tied to Social Studio, which is on its being sunset at this time. So I expect this will drop off unless something fills in the blank for this. And so this is the retail example. And then we have organization versus personalization. It's one thing to have your data organized, but then it's are we using it effectively? Segmentation allows us to organize the data into unique groups, but then there is the application of the attributes that we have to personalize. And so at the end of the day, we should always focus on the individual. Doesn't matter if we're B2B, B2C, B2B to C, or whatever acronym you want to throw at it. There's a human being on the other end. Hopefully we're not emailing Skynet right now, but at the end of the day, you're trying to get to a human being. So think about what's important to them. What's their interest? Why should they care? Why should they open your content, and why should they engage? So thinking about it from that perspective, I wrote about this in depth, sort of the strategy around approaching that type of in level of engagement, with thinking of the individual in mind, not necessarily what I have to say or what I want you to listen about. It's really more around, what do they need? What problem are we solving? And what benefit are we providing to them? And so you can check that out if you have interest in that topic. And then here I have a number of resources. This is a list to basically this will take you to a post with just the resources. There's nothing else but links to Trailhead, help documentation, diagrams, other articles and blogs that are relevant and related to this topic. And so if you check that out, again, there's a lot of information there. If you have questions, feel free to hit me up. You can hit me up on Twitter or LinkedIn, or even comment on the post if there's any specific questions that you may have that may help somebody else. If something didn't quite make sense, happy to address that. And so with that, I think we have about 7 minutes left. I'm not sure if I'm just going a little too fast, but I want to make sure we have time for questions. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat and see if there's any outstanding questions I've missed.
I haven't seen any questions come in. So if there are any questions out there, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we can answer them as they come in.
That would be great. I'm with you, Donna, on campaign. It is somewhat a very narrow topic, or a narrow name. Most people wouldn't necessarily think about the reach that it has. Pardot has went through the process of unifying what campaign meant, so that it meant the same in the CRM and it meant the same in Pardot, which was great. Marketing Cloud has its own campaign object, or the way it uses it. Salesforce has campaign as well, and so technically they're not 100% the same thing either. So I would like to see more consistency in that particular naming convention. If you aren't any other questions, then thank you for coming. If there are, I will hang out until we run out of time.
Yeah, we can certainly hang out here, see if any questions come in, see if anybody comes in and has any questions. And we've got a little less than 10 minutes left in our session. And then, once that time runs out, it's going to move on to the next one. If you are here and you don't have any questions, since we are done, thanks again for joining us. Special shout out to our sponsors for their support. Without them, MarDreamin' wouldn't be possible. And be sure to pop into the sponsor booth, learn more about what they all can do. there are a ton of great sessions still left today. So we have, coming up next after this one is concluded, how the right message can increase conversions. Otherwise, the agenda is going to have everything in there with the full list. So, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them and we'll answer them.
Yeah, and if it's not obvious, Brandy will drive home the point. I love talking about this stuff, so please, oh, we got a question here, maybe. As for a career path, do you recommend next certification advanced admin or marketing? So if you're a certified admin and you are currently supporting marketing using, account engagement, Pardot, I personally would recommend looking at the Pardot specialist certification to balance out your knowledge base to better support that. Certainly, I don't think there's a wrong answer. If you want or need to go after the advanced admin, it's a solid certification to go and get and really dig in under the hood within the core platform. But if Pardot if you're somewhat new to or looking to strengthen that, then I would give a strong consideration going after the Pardot specialist, balance it out, and then determine, do you want to go for the advanced admin after that, or do you want to dig even deeper and go into for the Pardot consultant, which is the more advanced version of that. So I will say this, there's not enough marketing skills in the marketplace. Salesforce has called that out. It has not changed at all in my career. There's never been enough people with marketing skills. So I will say there is a certain bias towards that based off experience and a certain level of job security. If you can do both, then that will certainly help you stand out even more, because it is not an apples to apples platform, core, and even Pardot, which is more closely tied to core than the exact target version or engagement. I think they're just fundamentally different. And so I think if you can navigate both and grow with both, I think that's a really strong path to look at. Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. Thank you, Donna, for the tip. I think with the BUs, there is one sort of caveat to that. Multi-org is free. It is an option, but also once it's turned on, you can never turn it off. So if you want or need to follow the traditional prod dev sort of org management, that's a great path to follow. If you're not quite ready or need to go that path, you can get additional BUs without enabling the multi-org connection. So again, just more of what do you need to do and apply that to your decision. So that's a good call out. But I definitely agree with Don on the sense that business units, you should have at least a second business unit for testing and sort of a safe space to grow, learn, or otherwise train people as far as that's concerned. I'm plugged in, so it sounded like somebody's computer's dying. Or that's the warning bell. I'm not sure. Okay. I'll go back to the resources in case anyone didn't catch that. I know we have just a few minutes left here, but I'll leave that up. So what do we got? A challenge? Throwing down a gauntlet, Donna? What do we got here? Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So, I mean, again, with the Marketing Cloud, there's the good and the bad is so many different ways you can do things. It's a powerful tool. And so, 80% of our success is based upon planning ahead, the design. So to Donna's point around having to pause or wait, for an upgrade, it's best to talk through, what's coming down, what's on our roadmap, what do we need to do, how do we evolve, how do we get better, thinking through that and getting the right stakeholders in the room, whether we're talking about getting sales and service or marketing, all three of those aligned. It's great to have those conversations and work together to kind of look ahead so that we can anticipate those needs. If we need to upgrade to a multi-org connector, if we need an additional business unit, or we're missing some other feature that needs to be enabled, and work with support or our account executive, planning ahead will minimize those roadblocks and sort of the pain points that can come when there's a sense of urgency and things need to happen at a certain pace. So as much as you can identify those needs in advance would be to your benefit.
Okay, well, any other questions? Anybody? Nothing posted in Q&A. Is there any other questions for Chris?
Doesn't look like it. Either I did a great job or I bored them to sleep. Either way, I think we're done here.
I think you did a great job. No, it was a lot of great information in there. So thanks so much for walking us through all of that. Again, a lot of great sessions coming up. As a reminder, right after this one, we've got how the right message can increase conversions. If that is not to your liking, go ahead and check out what we've got on the agenda and see everything we have to offer. Hope all of you have a great rest of your day with the rest of the sessions we have. Thank you again, Chris.
You're absolutely welcome. One last answer here. If I had to pick, I would take CDP over anything, because honestly, organizing your data and getting to that sort of ideal profile state, I would prioritize that over personalization. It is also much more, I would say, business user friendly. Not to say that personalization doesn't have WYSIWYG components, but CDP, I feel, is a faster time or a better investment, in my opinion. And thanks again. In 1 minute, y'all going to be kicked out.
Yep, everybody will be automatically directed to a waiting screen and then into the next session. So if there's anything you want to ask, now's the time.
Rapid fire, let's go. How many questions can we ask and answer in the next 45 seconds? What is the meaning of life? That is quite the question, Donna. I think it's about making connections, connecting with amazing people like you. I think that's the meaning of life. $42, is that an answer? A mathematical answer to the meaning of life is the number 42? That is amazing. I love it.
My Douglas Adams fans. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.